Right, so I'll just start off very general. First few weeks into the job, how's it been so far?
Busy. I knew going in it's a busy job, it's demanding, and I think I undersold it. It's even busier and more demanding than I imagined. Um, I feel like I've starting to get my bearings and feet on the ground and starting to move forward, but it was even more eye-opening than I expected the first week, and as time has gone on, now we're on week 3. It's getting better.
So the first 3 weeks in, I mean, what are those things you talked about, those challenges that maybe you didn't even think about that you've been running into?
There's just, you want to make yourself available and you want to meet people, and there's only so much time in the day, and you don't want to tell people, I can't meet with you. Let's schedule, out further. So I'm trying to, continually meet with people, and it's hard to find the right time during the day, and all the schedules meet up to talk to the people and have a conversation of what they foresee in the police department, how their experience has been with the police department, and keep that in mind as you move forward.
So in those conversations you've been having with people, what are the things that you're really hearing a lot of? What are they saying that they want to hear or that they want to see? And are those things attainable?
So there's kind of a mix. So some of the conversations have been, we have a great relationship with um, many different parties, and they want to just continue the relationship. And then other groups have mentioned they want a little bit more of police involvement and community time, and some of that is making yourself available during events, which we do quite a few events already, uh, but it's going to be in the future. It's not just going to be me at events. It's going to be executive staff, captains, lieutenants. I would like them to get out, meet the community members, establish relationships that will last their career and past their career. Friendships and communication in person, in my experience, has always been a much better method to solve issues or resolve any, you know, conflicts.
For sure. So I want to back up a little bit and talk about just this environment, this culture here with the police department as it is right now. Where do you think that this department stands? Do you think it's a good culture, good environment?
So that's an interesting question. So there's a couple parts to this. There's my perception, and I can't just go off of that. I think this is a great department. I think this department's a leader in many categories of law enforcement. Been on the cutting edge of mental health, body cameras, outreach. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. However, that's my opinion. So I have to get out, and we're going to be conducting surveys to not just the police officers, but the civilians at this department too, to see how they feel about the department, to see ideas of different areas they're concerned with, or they think are doing well, or think they need improvement. And my goal from these surveys is to take that data in and see, okay, this is where we can help out this department, hopefully morale-wise, or help out this department work-wise. I have to put a team together, and to do that, I have to put the right people on the team, a diverse team of different people, different civilians, different officers, different sergeants and above, and get the right people that want to do a good job and want to be successful. And we're going to have to take it in parts. I think if you try to tackle something like morale, that means different things to different people. And so, try to tackle these things in parts and reevaluate again by a survey or another method to see where you stand 6 months, a year later, to see if you're making progress or what you're doing isn't making progress. You got to start with a new plan. We have limited time, limited resources, so it's important that we are successful with what our planning is and how we implement these.
I want to go back to that survey you mentioned. So when you're going out to these people, and obviously you have all kinds of folks in the department doing this, but how do you make sure that you're targeting these areas and even people who maybe they don't have the trust in the police department?
So are we talking, so the survey that I'm talking about is an internal survey going to people that work at the police
But it
department.
sounds like you have another survey where you're going to be.
So there is a survey that goes out to the citizens of Des Moines. We won't do it. The city does that one. But what I'm talking about specifically is a survey that will go out to the internal employees here, both the civilian non-sworn employees and the sworn employees. So not just the police officers, but everybody who works here. And, you know, that will go out anonymous so that they can answer honestly, and taking that data and we'll see where we stand, and hopefully put together a group of leaders that can develop plans and programs to help improve.
When you talk about staffing, because I know every department across the country, I feel like, talks about having staffing challenges. Are you guys running into that too?
So staffing is a difficult thing where we don't know exactly how many openings we're going to have every year. Yes, there's retirements planned, but people get injured, people get jobs elsewhere, so you have to backfill these jobs. So it's important to have a succession plan of how many openings we're going to have throughout the year. And then recruiting is a big deal in law enforcement. And, you know, we have a recruiting officer, and we have got to put resources in the right places, whether it's media marketing, internet, you know, social media. We need to hit the right targets to get as many applications as possible from the city of Des Moines, the metro area, the state of Iowa, and then the rest of the country.
I think your starting salary is what, around 78 for officers? I saw
I,
something like
I
that.
think it might be a little bit higher than that, but well, I think it is 78. They get a new contract starting July 1st, so
Okay.
I think it might be 78. But it's the salary-wise comparable in Iowa. That's a pretty competitive salary. But and money's important. But most people, when they get into law enforcement, they're not just money driven. There's goals and you know, what can they do in a department? What are their options? What are their job options? Where's their opportunity for growth? And Des Moines Police Department offers a lot of options, a lot of opportunities for growth, whether it's promotion or just different positions in the department.
I've seen departments who will say, we're going to start going to high school, we're going to even middle school to start getting kids interested in law enforcement careers. Is that something you guys are doing?
Well, we do give talks at high schools, and we do have events. We have a Heroes Academy. We have other events that are geared towards high school age, middle school age kids, that just to let them know what careers are out there. And we combine with the fire department and the military for many of these activities. And it's kind of to plant a seed or plant an idea. We know that that is a long-term method of seeing success, but you're going to have to wait, 5 to 10 years to see, some outcome. But I think it also helps, whether they choose to get in law enforcement or any other, first responder thing. If they have a positive experience with the first responders at these events, that goes a long ways too in the future of, I did whatever activity it was and I got along and I had a great time, or whatever their experience was. If it was positive, that does help.
And I want to talk about just that positive experience and kind of transition into this. There are people out there, going back to the trust or lack thereof for some people with law enforcement. We've seen nationwide, we've had instances of police brutality or instances where just situations have escalated. And so it affects the trust that some people have with law enforcement. From the perspective of this police department, what are you guys doing to try to make sure that you have that trust in this community?
The hard thing is trust is a fragile thing, and it can be easily, broken, and it's hard to repair. So the main thing you can do is, if there is a problem, if there is an issue, investigate the issue, be transparent about the investigation. If somebody did something wrong, fix it, move forward. And if it's a training issue, if it's a personnel issue, you have to deal with it as fast as possible, and make this known that bad actions and bad actors are not tolerated. And I think that's important in the community too.
How do you feel that this department has done with that over the last several years?
I think that this department has done a good job of investigating and dealing with issues that have come up over the last few years, but we can always get better. This department can strive, should always be striving to improve. We can always get better.
So I want to talk a little bit about the strengths and the challenges of this department. As it stands right now, what do you think are the things that you guys are doing best? What are the things that you want to work on?
So some of the things we do very good compared to the rest of the country, our recruiting is still getting relatively high numbers of applicants. Our police department handles and can handle a large volume of calls. Our investigation numbers, our closure rates are way above the national average. Our investigators do an excellent job. I think those areas of the department do good. They have set expectations high, and they're able to achieve those expectations. We've updated our policies from, it's taken us years, but we've updated our policies to be best standard practice in the country, and that was a long process, and I think it developed into more training for our officers, which is an excellent idea to get good policing out of them. What can we do better? I would say we need to recruit the city of Des Moines better and get more applicants from the city of Des Moines. We get a lot of applicants around the state, but I don't want to lose out on homegrown talent. And part of that is with the schools, but we have got to do a better job of getting people that grew up here wanting to be police officers here.
Why do you think that is?
I think policing in general, some people don't want to work where they grew up. They've been there their whole life, and they want to experience something else, which I totally understand. I'm not from Des Moines. I wanted to go to a different city, and that's relatively common. But like many people, you go somewhere else. If you want to come back, this is an opportunity for you to be a police officer here, and you're interested, we'd be interested in talking to you. So that, recruiting here, I think it's important that we also reevaluate ourselves constantly. Every few months, look at the department, look at ourselves. What are we doing good? What are we not doing good? What can we do better at? And we have got to have honest conversations about morale, about hiring, about policing in general. Just where do we stand? And we need all the people in the department, the non-sworn, the sworn, to participate, because if it's just a few people that participate in the comments, and then you're only getting a little sample group. I need everybody to participate. The more participation we have, the more ideas we share of how to improve this place, the better product we're going to get.
Now, I'm curious because this is just something that kind of came to mind here. So anytime you've got officers out on the scene, are there ways that officers are getting feedback on their interactions with the public?
Yes, so their sergeants have to review and monitor officers at scenes. There's body camera review too, but then there's also report reviews and seeing how you interact with citizens and how you're writing a report and how thorough you are. And one of the things that is I'm already stressing, but is going to be stressed into the future is slowing down. When we take calls, when we're on responses, a lot of times we have a number of trips waiting, and the officers want to get through a trip so that they can get to the next trip so a citizen's not waiting, which is understandable. But if you rush through an incident and you don't, have a thorough conversation or write a thorough report or do a thorough investigation, the product later is not a very good product. As far as, was a good investigation? Does somebody have to go back out later and talk to the person? Was anything solved? Did you miss evidence? So, these are all things that if we slow down, I think we're going to get a better product for the officers and the citizens.
Do you kind of find it to be where, okay, maybe it'll take just a tiny bit longer to get out to this next call, but if you're thorough here and then you get there, and yeah, you may be a tiny bit behind, but you're thorough there, the feedback is good on that end?
That is my point. That's my hope too, is when we have officers who are thorough, they don't get the complaints later. The citizens doesn't have to call the police back because they didn't even understand how the first call ended. So it's important that we take our time, have a conversation, and be thorough in our investigation the first time through.
I know that you guys have increased your presence along Court Avenue over the last few years. Do you feel like that is paying off?
Well, I think the presence helps, but we also worked with many of the restaurants and entertainment down there and the landlords to try to develop a method of, it can't just be the police policing. Like, we have got to have a method of as the establishments, control what's going on in their establishment. What product are they trying to put out? Who are they trying to get down to their place? And understanding when they have issues, they have to do a self-evaluation too of why did they have an issue? How do we change this in the future?
And just thinking about staffing in general, do you guys have any plans on moving any officers around, having the officers focus on certain areas more compared to where they are right now?
So that's an interesting thing. Yes, the city just hired within the last year several data analysts. And although we had data for years, police officers, for the most part, aren't great at analyzing the data and putting it in a usable form. And so now we're getting these mapping and data, and we're able to identify some hotspot areas, some zones that need different attention. Instead of just generally spacing out officers, we should have better information of hotspots and ways to make our officers more efficient, times of day to send them, areas to send them, and areas to concentrate in. And these will change. So they're constantly changing. So what might be a hotspot this month could be totally different next month. And you have to be versatile, and you have to look at those maps and have quality people, analysts, looking at those and helping you out.
I feel like that's going to go a long way when you have people, and I know I've seen it wherever I've lived, where people say they feel like police, like they aren't there. They'll say that they feel like that presence isn't there when crime is going up, but you're going back, you're looking at this data, you're going to be able to say, all right, wherever the problem is, we're going to be there, right?
And the hard part with that is the old saying, where's the cop when you need one? That's still going to exist to some level. They can't be everywhere. But if I can show we're using our resources as efficiently as possible, we're going to do our best to be at the locations that are causing the most issues.
So, in terms of crime in our area, here in the city of Des Moines, do we have any crimes that are noticeably declining, or any element of crime that is on the rise?
So, it's hard with data and low numbers, but so homicides in Des Moines are down this year, which is great, but the numbers are still so small. So you go from 25 to 15. It seems, statistically that's a big drop, but the numbers are so small that you never know when they're going to go up or down. So, but overall, crime in Des Moines has been relatively steady, if not falling. We do have a lot of gun incidents that we would like to concentrate on and see if we can use our data to identify who or where is the best location to concentrate on for those.
Now, I want to ask this. You talked a little bit about mental health earlier. What are you guys doing? What have you been doing, and what's to come in the future to really focus on mental health for your officers?
So in 25 years, this is one of the things in law enforcement that has probably changed the most in my experience. From basically very little, if not no talk about mental health in policing to, now there's mandatory, you have to see a psychologist at least once a year. We offer a lot of peer support, and with the peer support comes different events and locations to go to and talk to. We have a police application that solely talks about mental health services available. So these are the items that in police work, have been successful, and we're still looking at new opportunities and new areas that will be helpful.
But like you said, that's got to be pretty incredible when you think back to when you started in law enforcement, even when you started here, and to think about how far we've come, that we're focusing on that. Does it just feel like a healthier profession?
It was such a strange thing to hear the concentration, the talk about mental health, that it was strange to hear at first, and then and now I feel like, yes, this is the right thing to do. Everything they're talking about is true. I guess I never thought of it as these incidents build up in your memory banks and they can be hard to deal with. But I think it is healthy to talk about that and understand that you don't have to just bottle in every emotion. You can talk to somebody. It might not, a lot of times it might be a family member, but it can be somebody who's a professional and knows how to handle what you're talking about.
For sure. As we wrap up here, I do want to ask you this. Are there any additional resources, just for anything in general, that you're pushing for with this department to really help your officers out?
In general, like,
Yeah, just anything.
so what we would like is, as we go forward, we're looking for more data, and to get better, more data, we need more analysts, more ways to capture data. So it's not so much police officers as it is computers, equipment, and civilians that will help out with that. I'm very positive about it. I think this department is, when I got here 25 plus years ago, I thought it was a very good department then. I think it's an even better department now. And my goal is, whenever I retire, is it'll be in a better spot than it is currently. And I still think it's a great department.